of some logs.
And honestly, I am recording this just to get some reps on creativity and on creating. And literally just physically hitting record and talking to the camera and not feeling like a silly goose about it. Because sometimes it's easy to feel like a silly goose when you're talking to a camera, especially when you're not inside your super comfy, quiet office, like that red building back there. Whoa, walked into a tree. This is just me and a wheelbarrow doing a little bit of moving of some wood. And here's the wood in question. This is a pile that's been in front of our house for like 3 months or something, because we had a tree cut down and then we brought it all out here thinking we were gonna do a bonfire, and then it rained and then I didn't cover it with a tarp. So it just sat here collecting water and killing the grass underneath it for months. And I've been procrastinating and putting it off, and I don't know why. All I need to do is take, as many loads or as few loads as possible of mainly these stumps down to the creek. And I've just not done it. I'm a big procrastinator. And this is the video you've been waiting for. It's another 30-year-old white guy talking about why he's wanted to do YouTube for so long but hasn't. And so this is just a way of me doing some YouTube. I think at least in very small part why I've been putting this on is because I actually got started on moving this stuff back when I very first initially needed to. And then upon moving the second log, I got bit by what I think to be a wolf spider. Definitely some kind of spider, because that shit hurts so bad. And it left a mark for a good long while. And that made me get pretty poopy faced. That's gonna fall. And now we take the trip down to the end of the driveway. We'll figure out where we're gonna put it. Somewhere. Whoa, whoa. That's one way to do it. I just rolled into the creek on accident. I procrastinate almost everything that I need to do. Long term, just like these logs. Definitely seems to be a little bit more common knowledge these days that, psychologically speaking, procrastination isn't necessarily purely the avoidance of a thing. It's the avoidance of the feeling of the thing. Not even the thing itself, but like the thought of the thing. That's terrible framing. I was out of that. Why didn't you tell me? But getting this done is gonna feel good. And I'm already enjoying myself. Like I said, it's a nice day, moving. And as I do it, I'm not feeling this negative emotion or energy or thought. But it was leading up to it. Just didn't feel like doing it. Didn't want to do it. Knew I should. Get told repeatedly that I should. Maybe that makes it worse. And just don't want to do it. It's like a resistance reflex. I bet this is a terrible angle and a terrible shot. I'll be lucky if my face stays in frame, but we're gonna walk and talk like this so I can have maximum productivity. So in dealing with procrastination, it seems like the goal should be becoming more emotionally intelligent and capable, rather than just thinking about productivity or checking boxes on a to-do list. You've got to sit in the negative emotion that the procrastination pulls you out of, or helps you to avoid at least. Same thing with drugs and alcohol. Why do most people drink outside of social drinking and party drinking and just having fun? To avoid an emotion, to avoid a thought, a feeling, sometimes physical maybe. And in order to kick those addictions or dependencies, you gotta become willing and able to sit in those feelings. That's the most important part. It's no longer about, can you resist the physical thing of picking up a drink itself, because just trying to resist is never gonna be an easy thing or an easy enough thing to complete with success. The mindset has to become, can you sit in that uncomfortable moment, whatever that is for you? Anxiety, depression, dread, fear, anger. When you become okay with that feeling, with those emotions, with that energy, with that moment, that's when you might find success in changing things. From a standpoint that I'm some kind of guru and I've got it figured out, because I definitely don't. For example, this wood. There's a lot of other things that I've procrastinated, even the fun stuff. Like earlier I mentioned, I'm another dude who wants to be a content creator, be a YouTuber, be a streamer. That's a fun thing. And yet, I haven't even begun. Not really. I do like the labor of moving an odd object. It's like strongman training. Strongman training as a vibe, I'm no professional there either, but as a vibe comes down to moving heavy shit that isn't necessarily optimal. We train in the gym. Gyms are designed to offer up ways to train your body in kind of an optimal way. The barbell, the dumbbell, the treadmill, resistance machines. Even free weights, which are considered to be more dynamic, are still optimized for human movement. You pick up a big old log or a big old stone, your body's got to be strong and resilient to do that without getting hurt, and to do that successfully, especially at the level that professionals do it. This feels like a very, very extremely light strongman workout. So there has been a trend of Mr. Beastification of YouTube, right? It's been said a trillion times, where flashy, expensive, big productions are what it is. It's what YouTube searches for, or rather it's what the person will watch the most. And in my paralysis analysis study recently, it seems like there's a trend in the opposite direction, where authenticity, some sort of X factor, whether it's like Sam Sulek being a fucking massive freak, or that bearded guy who sits in a chair and super wise and like a father figure, or I think just a lot of like short form content creators are putting together really well crafted content. So I think part of what I'm doing with this video is starting a split test. On this nostalgic channel, or nostalgic, however you want to say it, I think I'm just going to call it nostalgic. I'm going to be uploading videos like this, a little bit more off the cuff, a little less edited, maybe more commentary. And on my Jake O'Brien channel, it'll be the more produced, polished, sort of conceptual content that I write scripts for. Got a handful of scripts written for that already. I'll test and see what works, what doesn't work, what I enjoy less. Maybe always do both, maybe stick to one eventually. Of course, in tandem with streaming. Nostalgic on Twitch, check it out. Actually, nostalgic underscore on Twitch, because nostalgic is taken on every platform, and I'm very angry about it. Maybe when I'm rich and famous, I can pay that person off and buy the name. Help me do that. A handful of false starts on my main channel. The starts were good. Good, bad, or ugly. I put out some content. And then I just stopped. Probably coming back to that procrastination thing. Whether I found some success or not, it was just doing the thing. Okay, thorns, please don't ruin my pants, I like these. Doing the thing emotionally, for whatever reason, felt worse than not doing the thing. Oh no. I don't really want these rolling down into the creek. Even though I pretty sensibly understand that doing the thing that I want to do is going to chronically improve my mental state, my emotional state in the moment. I don't feel like filming. I'd rather play a video game, or rather just eat and drink. There seems to be something stupidly hardwired in the human psyche that makes that acute discomfort of movement, of motion, of action much more painful than what we can recognize the reward and benefit of doing said thing would be. Caveman brain, fight or flight, protect yourself from the saber tooth. We don't have saber tooths anymore. And yet those mechanisms still exist, even when it doesn't make sense for them to. Even though I'm wearing gloves, I'm still paranoid that a spider's gonna get me. That hurt so bad. And it hurt for like 3 days afterwards. I think that definitely plays a role, and that's a great concrete, intense example of the principle of avoiding a task because emotionally the thought of the task is bad. The memory of the physical pain that I experienced the last time I tried to do this plays a big or small role in me thinking about this consciously and unconsciously as a task that I don't want to do. So replace the spider that actually bit me on the finger with 10,000 imaginary spiders, taking little nibbles out of your psyche and your emotions every time you think about doing that thing that you really should do, but you just don't feel like it. And it makes you feel yucky every time you think about doing it. It's kind of a parallel. I've been holding this thing for too long. If there was a spider on this, it's on me right now, and I'm afraid. To further illustrate the power of my procrastination, here is this year's Christmas tree, still in the stand, in the pile. And here's last year's Christmas tree, also still in the pile. I guess the moral of the story is, and the point of this video is, you should explore your emotions when it comes to procrastination if that's something you struggle with. And you should explore your willingness to sit and feel those emotions. And it's something that I'm not perfect at either. In fact, I'm not very good at it at all. It just so happened that today was kind of a do or die day with that pile of wood. Such a stupid and small example, right? But a very concrete one. So that's the video. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe for more ranting videos that you can watch while you eat lunch.